Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth and the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Dan Kane, coming to the podiums. Let's listen in.
Well, good morning. Unlike the endless wars of the past that dragged on for years and for decades with little to show for it, Operation Epic Fury has delivered a decisive military results in just weeks. Korea, Vietnam, Iraq, Afghanistan, as the president has pointed out, all took years, decades, vague missions, shifting sands, little to show for it. Operation Epic Fury has been laser focused from the very start, as I've said to all of you. Clear mission objectives, and ultimately Iran will not have a nuclear weapon. It's a bold and dangerous mission, a gift to the world, historic, courtesy of a bold and historic president. That mission continues today in this new phase as Iran has an important choice, a chance to make a deal, a good deal, a wise deal. As part of that effort, the United States has imposed an ironclad blockade that grows more powerful by the day. From the Gulf of Oman to the open oceans, our Navy is enforcing this blockade without hesitation or apology. Now, as usual, there's a lot of false information out there. I'll say this, every ship that the U.S. believes meets our criteria, either Iranian ships or to and from Iranian ports, has been turned around. As of this morning, 34 total. Non-Iranian vessels are allowed to transit, and many have, including overnight. Not only is the blockade growing, in fact, a second aircraft carrier will join the blockade in just a few days, but this growing blockade is also gone global. Just this week, we seized 2 Iranian Dark Fleet ships in the Indo-Pacific region that had left Iranian ports before the blockade went into effect. They thought they'd made it out just in time. They did not. We seized their sanctioned ships, and we will seize more. Our blockade is growing and going global. America's military is unmatched, projecting power, denying passage to adversaries, and protecting our interest at the time and place of our choosing. No one sails from the Strait of Hormuz to anywhere in the world without the permission of the United States Navy. To the regime in Tehran, the blockade is tightening by the hour. We are in control, nothing in, nothing out. Iran's battered military, the IRGC specifically, has been reduced to a gang of pirates with a flag. They cloak their aggression in slogans, but the world now sees them for what they are, criminals on the high seas. They don't control anything. They're acting like pirates, acting like terrorists. They're the ones who lay indiscriminate mines, who shoot at random ships, who killed 45,000 of their own people, innocent protesters in the course of weeks. Their own people. They are the bad actors. The vessels that the Iranians seized in recent days, a couple of them, they're not American ships. They're not Israeli ships. They're just random ships that drove where they drove their little speedboats up to and shot at those ships with AK-47s. Anyone with a speedboat, a gun, and the wrong intentions can do that. They know that we, the United States of America, control the flow of global shipping. And we know that they know. Their real navy is at the bottom of the Arabian Gulf. It's worth saying again, for 47 years, Iran has been at war with America, killing our citizens, our soldiers, and our allies, while previous administrations looked the other way. The real endless war is the war that Iran has waged on us for 47 years. President Trump is the only president with the guts and moral clarity to finally do something about it. I see it every day behind closed doors. President Trump's fortitude is unshakable, and his mission is crystal clear. President Trump said it again yesterday. We have all the time in the world, and we're not anxious for a deal. And I hear him say it every day in private as well. Iran knows that they still have an open window to choose wisely. As we said previously, choose wisely at the negotiating table. All they have to do is
if you just tuned in, Secretary Hegseth is giving us a summary of what's going on right now. He accurately said that there have been great military successes and that America's military is unmatched in the world. He inaccurately said that there's been a clear mission objective from the very beginning. That's just not the case. Clearly said that he was right, that for 47 years, Iranians have been targeting Americans and killing Americans. That is true. But one of the more fascinating things we'll talk about later is he proclaimed Iran will not have nuclear weapons. He said it. Iran will not have nuclear weapons. It'll be fascinating to see details on that. He talked about the blockades getting more powerful by the day. Also, Iranians laying more mines, which could cause problems with shipping through the strait for quite some time. He also said other administrations didn't do anything but look the other way. That's just not true at all. 7 administrations have talked about the dangers that Iran poses to the world. 7 administrations have also understood that going to war could cause the exact economic problems globally that are being caused right now. So we'll continue following this. I've got to say, though, I'm putting a star by the fact that Pete Hegseth has said this morning Iran will not have nuclear weapons. So anything short of that and short of the strait being opened when this war ends will be an abject failure for this administration. If they are able to take away Iran's nuclear weapons and open the strait, then most likely a success. Now back to the Secretary.
We are not counting on Europe, but they need the Strait of Hormuz much more than we do, and might want to start doing less talking and having less fancy conferences in Europe and get in a boat. This is much more their fight than ours. On this core mission, America's will is unshakable.
It's fascinating that he talks about mocks and ridicules our allies in Europe that helped us destroy the Soviet Union. This is something the administration is obsessed with, their hatred of Europe, their hatred of Western democracy, their hatred of the very people that helped us defeat the Soviet Union, and also many who fought side by side with us to destroy Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. Just a note here, the only reason I'm jumping in, interesting timing to talk about how Europe does nothing but conduct fancy cocktail parties the morning after 90 billion euros of aid given to Ukraine, because this administration continues to do nothing to help the Ukrainian people push back the Russians. Now to